All right, welcome back. I'm Russell. This is the Minnesota Bearhawk channel, and this is episode 3 of my patrol build. This week I've been working on the aileron nose ribs, getting them ready to attach to the spars, as well as finally getting a hold of a little bit of aluminum to start on what I'm calling a prototype rib attach angle. I built one using it to find out if I'm reading plans correctly. After I talk to a couple guys, make sure I've got things the way they're supposed to be, I can move on to building the final version. Since I had a couple questions on it, I decided to throw in a little shop tour, just walking around showing what's in my shop, what kind of space I'm working out of, and how I've got things laid out. I hope you enjoy the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Enjoy. So it fits pretty good, and better yet, its opposite fits pretty dang good as well. This lets me get this bend in the exact same spot every time. So we're going to see how this goes. Bending pretty nicely. I think I need to put more radius in. Yeah, I barely got any radius in here, so I will take some sandpaper to that and clean it up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got a better bend on that now. What I did is set it back in the block, use my body hammer, and pound it straight down. That seemed to tighten up this corner real nicely, so we will give that a shot in the future. Now there's only 12 left to go. Well, that went pretty good. Didn't take me too long at all, maybe an hour, hour and a half at a relaxed pace. I even took a break in there, talked to my dad. Yeah, pretty nice. They came out pretty good. All nicely bent up on all three sides now. You'll see these will rivet down right like that. And that'll form the leading edge of the ailerons. There'll be another one opposite of that with the flange facing the other way. We'll set over here. So it'd be that way, but not. Yeah, I'll get those drilled here as soon as I figure out exactly how I want to do things. Aircraft Spruce apparently lost my order, or maybe it's that computers are hard thing again and I screwed up entering an order, although I'm usually pretty good at spending money. So I think I got the order in right, but it is not there. So had to make the order all over again. So still waiting for aluminum. In the meantime, just spent some time kind of laying out the one aileron, getting things kind of placed where they're supposed to be, doing some research on where things are supposed to be at, how I'm supposed to be doing things, all that fun stuff. It's rather annoying not having the materials I need to work with, but in the end, it's my fault for not already having it here before I started on any of this. So we will keep plugging away, keep trying to get something done, and hopefully sometime in the next month or so, I'll have some real progress to show you guys. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep on giving you these little tidbits here and there, I guess. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Kind of more in the study mode again, rather than the build mode. It's not a spot I like being in, but it's what I'm stuck with. All right, I managed to get a hold of some aluminum. 100 octane aviation up at the Superior Airport. I had some scrap 032 that they gave me and let me use his 4-foot brake to bend it up into my 90 so I could build my rib attach ankles. So I did a couple of them. I only got 1.5 foot worth of material, so 4, 5, 6 attach angles, but it's a start. And I finally got shipping confirmation from UPS. My order from Aircraft Spruce with all my aluminum is supposed to be here on Tuesday. So it's progress. It's something. So I was able to build my mock-up, is what I'm calling it, rib attach angle, and figure out rivet spacing and that kind of thing. Didn't get a whole lot done this week, once again, but it's progress. Small bites, you eat the whole project eventually, right? We're just gonna keep on making those small bites and keep on working our way through. So I've had a few questions about the shop, mostly just people saying it looks like a nice setup. Figured I'd give you guys a little look around at what I've got going on. So we're gonna start right here at the workbench, which is right behind the camera here. I've got basic workbench, got my toolboxes underneath, got a whole bunch of tools on the wall, which, by the way, I really like having things hanging on the wall like this. When you have a shop that you're not worried about other people being in them, so you're not worried about security of the tools, hanging on the wall is much more convenient. You can see what you've got and what you don't have pretty quickly and easily. Next to the workbench, or next to the tool board, got my computer set up, an old flat screen TV. That thing's 10 years old now, I think. Still works great. We've got bolt bins, some self-tapping screws, insulated terminals, that sort of thing. Kind of miscellaneous in that little pile. Got a table to work on, which basically about the only thing I use it for is, well, like right now, it's collecting things. My original intention was to set the plans on it, but I found it, for right now, it's easiest to set the plans right on my build table. Gotta have the fridge. Of course, it is full of Dr. Pepper. I drink far too much of it, but I like it. It tastes good, so I'll keep drinking it. Moving on, I got a couple shelves. They used to be completely full. I've cleared them off and gotten most of that stuff into my lean-to storage area that I am not showing you. That is a mess. I got a good old Harbor Freight 20-ton press with a Swag Off-Road press brake set up on it. This thing is really slick, bends steel quite easily. I can bend, I think it's 8-inch thick, or 8-inch wide, 3/8 thick material, and it'll bend it to a 90-degree angle. This thing works pretty nicely. Not something I would use for lightweight aluminum, not because it'll mess up the material being too strong or something like that, but the dies for the bender are not polished well enough for aircraft parts in general. When it comes to the steel, building all my steel parts that need to be bent up and whatnot, yeah, I'll be using it for that. But for all the aluminum, like the wing parts, I'm gonna have to use something different to bend those. This is not the tool for that job. Moving on from that, more random stuff on the bench. Turn the corner again, and you got my big ol' 4 foot by 8 foot, 1 inch thick welding table. I got this from a buddy of mine 8 years ago, I think it was, maybe 9. He used it in his speed shop until he shut down his shop and went back to construction. And he owed me some money, so he gave me the table to cover the debt. I think I got the better end of the deal because he didn't owe me that much. But it's a really nice table. I really like it. It's great for doing a lot of basic welding on. Coming around from that, got the drill press alongside. This guy is another one I've had forever, but it works good. Just a basic Craftsman floor standing drill press, variable speed. Then I got my build table. And again, I don't know if I brought this up much, but it's 18 foot long, 4 foot wide. I made it out of the I-joist floor joists. So it's particle board or chipboard webbing with what looks like 2x2 material on top and bottom. These are very straight, very flat, and reasonably priced. So it worked out real nice. I topped it with 5/8 inch AC plywood. And the legs are just 2x4s that are laminated together and screwed to the bottom. All right, coming around the corner again, now I'm on the north wall. I got my big old Syncrowave 300 TIG welder. This is another one I've had for a handful of years. I think I bought this 7 years ago, maybe 8. This thing was used in a college welding program down in southern Minnesota for years. This welder was built in 1978. It's been well maintained the whole time they had it. I've taken care of it. It welds really nicely. Doesn't have a lot of the fancy new things like the really fast pulse. It's not square wave. So it's not as fancy or quite as nice to weld with as some of the new machines. But the price was a lot better, and it really is smooth, particularly on heavier stuff, which obviously doesn't apply here. Again, more shelving over top. I got some fiberglass stuff up there. I got just some random lubricants and fluids, whatever. Coming on down the line, I got the cart from my oxyacetylene rig. My oxygen is currently out, and the local welding shop is out of oxygen bottles in my size. So hopefully next week they will have a new shipment in, and I'll be able to replace that bottle. That torch rig my dad got back in the 90s probably, and we've had it ever since. So good piece. Actually, I think the torch itself and the hoses and the regs, I bet he had that in the 80s. So it's been around for a while. Moving down, we got my Hobart welder, just a simple 220 volt MIG welder, home built cart. Works great. I've had that for 10 years now, and it's welded a lot. I can't think of how many pounds of welding wire I've run through that. Moving farther down is the cherry picker. I love how it folds up and you can stuff it in the corner. It doesn't take up much space. Just an O'Reilly Auto Parts special, nothing fancy with it. Beside that is my dog Chewy's bed. That is what they call a papasan chair. That was left over at some friends of the family. They didn't want it anymore, so I took it home. My dog Chewy loves it. He destroyed the original cushion that came with it, and I just buy the big dog beds for him and drop them on there, and he's good with it. So that's coming around there. I don't have a whole lot back in this corner, not right now anyway. And then we're back to my workbench again. Okay, so this is the aluminum I got from 100 Octane Aviation. It's just 032. It's oversized. I don't need it nearly this large, but it was easiest to just grab a strip and throw it in his brake and bend it up into a 90. From there, I cut it down to roughly resemble this guy. We're about 5/8 inch on each leg here. That'll give me room for clearance from the holes to the edge. You need, I believe it's 3 times the diameter of the rivet from the edge of the hole to the edge of the material. After I got it cut down like this, shaped up, and got it fitted to the rib, then I determined where the holes needed to be, and I drilled them. Now I started with a number 41 drill bit, just keep them small pilot holes. Before I go any farther, I'm going to double check that I'm reading the plans correctly. I think it's supposed to be 4 holes holding the rib and 5 holes through the spar. Meaning 4 rivets through the rib, 5 rivets through the spar. Now this guy sets right in here like this. So you can see how it gives you a nice flange to rivet to the spar. So this guy sets right in here, right inside the spar and inside the rib like that. You can see how you can attach both sides here. Obviously this doesn't fit perfect. This is just a prototype to make sure I was thinking straight. You can see I've got 8 ribs, which means I need 8 rib attach angles for each aileron. So I'll have to make 16 of these little guys. What I'm going to attempt to do is build some kind of jig that will allow me to drill all the holes identical from one attach angle to the next. That way, after I take everything apart, prime it all, put it back together, I don't need to keep track of exactly which one goes where. We will see if I can be successful at that, hopefully next week. So that's what happened here this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so YouTube will let you know when I post the next video.